Hello, welcome back to Piers Rocks. This time around, we're going to take a look at this 1571 disk drive that the previous owner said went pop. Even before I open up this disk drive, I have a fair idea what might be wrong with it. So if you look at these ventilation fins here, you can see some slightly sooty marks across this whole area. And this is the area of the disk drive where the mains power comes in. If this is like a 1541 inside, it will have a mains filter unit here. And my guess is something in there has gone short circuit and the whole thing's gone bang. So let's open it up. Well, right away the problem's apparent. This incoming mains filter unit, as I suspected, has gone pop. So there's nasty looking goo coming out of it, and if I look really closely I can actually see that the insulation on, presumably this is the live or hot wire, has peeled back, and I can actually see some more crusty goo inside the wire. So yeah, I think that's gone pop in a quite spectacular way. I think the person who sold it to me said that it went pop when they were out of the room, so presumably it wasn't a brown trouser incident. I can see a fuse on the board, so I'll just check that that's got continuity. No, it looks good. So I need to get a replacement for this and replace it. So this is a replacement unit that I had in stock because I've hit the same problem with 1541 disk drives. Fundamentally, you don't need to fit this. The drive will operate just fine without this filtering, but because I've got these in stock, I'm going to fit this to this drive. Alright, pretty straightforward fix. I had to remove this back section using these 4 screws in order to lift it up, to undo the screws at the front of the filter unit here. I've soldered the new filter unit on because I don't have any spade connectors lying around. I'm not going to bother taking this apart because I'm guessing it's filled with potting compound and it looks pretty clear that a capacitor's gone pop. There's a short of 11 ohms across the mains and live pins of this filter unit. Now there's one odd thing I did notice as I was putting this back together. On the circuit board there's actually 2 different positions for the neutral wire. P3 labelled 220 volts and P2 labelled 240 volts. I went back and checked the footage because I removed this in order to solder it to the new unit to check where to put it back because I've forgotten which post I pulled it off, and I'm pretty confident it was installed on the 220 volt post. So I don't know if that's had any kind of detrimental impact on the circuit board, whether that's normal for 1571 in the UK, but obviously the mains here is 240 volts, typically about 245 volts in this house. Did go up to 255 volts once, but that's another story. I've reconnected it to 240 volts, so hopefully nothing will go pop. Hopefully that's the right place for it to be. Let's power it on. Right, ready to power it on. As a reminder, assuming this is like other Commodore disk drives, I've never tested a 1571 before, we should see the power light come on and stay on, and we should see the drive light illuminate temporarily, the motor spin round and then stop and the light go out. So first of all I'll plug it in. Right, plugged in. Turn it on. I think the drive light came on, it spun temporarily and then the drive light went on and it stopped. Let me try it again. Yeah, seems fine. Time to plug it into a computer. I'm ready to power on the Commodore 64. Let's check that the 1571 resets when the C64 powers on. It does. That's what we expect to see. Let's check the drive status. We can see this is a 1571 running DOS 3.0. Let's not worry about any of that speed test or alignment malarkey. Let's just try and load Arkanoid II. To load Arkanoid II, I'm going to use a stock kernel in case Jiffy DOS kernel causes any issues. I haven't even cleaned the drive heads, which I probably should have done. but let's see how we get on. Yeah, looks good. To me it seemed like it took about the same amount of time as it does on a 1541, which is about 40 seconds. I wasn't timing it. Let's now do speed test and alignment test of this drive. Alright, I'll use my scratch disc for the speed test. Bang on. That all looked good. There's two things we haven't tested so far with this drive. One is its ability to write discs, and the other is the second side read-write head. So all of the discs I've used so far are single-sided discs, and this double-sided disk drive. So let's format a double-sided disc. By default, the 1571 powers up in a 1541 compatibility mode, so that's what we've been using and testing so far. When working with the Commodore 128, this drive supports faster transfer speeds that aren't supported by the Commodore 64. However, we can still force the drive into 1571 mode, and that will give us the ability to use both sides of a disk. So the command that we run to do that is sitting in front of me in the form of the 1571 user's manual. That should have done it. I don't know if the 1571 should be blinking fast like this. Let's try formatting a disk. Let's try that again. Sounds like it's formatting the disk. Okay, it's now pulled the head all the way back to track 0, and it's doing it again. Presumably it does one side and then the other. Right, we're done. The 1571 is not flashing a drive light, so hasn't hit any errors. So let's have a look at the disk. There we go, 1328 blocks free, twice the normal size, which would be 664 blocks. As a final test, if I turn off the Commodore 64 and turn it back on again, that should reset the 1571 back to 1541 mode. I'm guessing that we'll no longer be able to read this disk as a result. Oh, interesting. So we can see half of the disk in 1541 mode, and then if we switch it back to 1571 mode, and do another DIR, yeah, we see the whole disk again. I hope you enjoyed this quick fix and look at a 1571 disk drive. Some days you just want a quick and easy fix, and today was one of those days for me. I'm really pleased though to have a working 1571 to add to my collection. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. Until next time, rock on.